All right, so let's try to get into some of this here. I am going to mention several other channels on here. I've mentioned Wano Saban. I don't care if he's a plant or not. I do everything by intuition. And actually, I'm going to go very slowly with this video, just changing stuff out and doing things because that's about probably the best way I'm going to be able to do this. I don't know how to change this so it doesn't show the pictures down here, but you pay tuition to remove your intuition. And all right, so intuition's all we got. I've said this multiple times. I've been saying it for years. I've been telling you we don't have a history. There's no history. We have no clue what our history is on any level. It's probably why I had absolutely zero interest on some level in school of not studying history. It's like I just memorized for a test. I didn't care, didn't want to hear it. Same with science, didn't want to hear it. But I do talk about people on other channels and mention things they've said because it doesn't matter if they're a so-called shill or a disinfo agent or somebody that's just doing things for ego or whatever. That's not what's important to me. What's important to me is if I get led to it intuitively and it's like, okay, watch this. And some of you have this experience as well. And it's like a series of events where it's like, ooh, I'm getting a sense I should turn this on. And then you get valuable information from that. So I really am not interested in hearing opinions on whether the people I'm referencing are legit or not, or you don't like them or like them. A lot of people don't like me. What's important is what's being said and the information, or that we're starting to back each other up. And in some of these cases, old texts that aren't available to the public are backing us up. What we're saying, the Bible's backing us up when somebody actually deciphers it correctly. So Archaics has been talking about, I'm not sure how he said this, but he said that the critical mass here is 33 humans with souls, and basically the rest are NPCs. And that kind of blew my mind because I've been talking about that for a really long time. And I used to do check-ins on where I thought we were with the critical mass or the souls that were awake. Because by critical mass, I mean we need a certain number of that 33% awake. And that number's vacillated a little bit from 30 to, I believe we got to 33 or 32. It's been like up and down as they're disconnecting people from their soul or new souls coming in. Let me turn this, apologize. I'm going to turn this buzzer off because the ringer's on too. So it'll just start distracting us. So, but it was kind of like, wow, when he said that, because he backed up what I was saying, but also that 33. I don't know why that didn't occur to me, probably because the number was right around there going up and down. So I'm wondering if that's the 33rd degree Mason. Is that one of the things you find out? Is the world's full of robots? So that's something I want to do. I'm going to try to draw. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm going to try to draw with my mouse. I really can only move this hand, which is my left hand. Probably looks right in the video, but I'm going to try to draw with the mouse here because I just wanted to. I've had some people asking and like, are you sure it's these people are all robots or fake or whatever, or this world? And I just wanted to present it in a different way. So this is like fake news at taking it to another level. So So fake news, let's take this to another level. I want to hit home the type of world we're living in. I really believe this, and I know a lot of you do as well. If you don't, I would still like to hear from you anyway and hear your opinion. But let's say here you are as a, oh, I need my pen. Here you are as a spark of spirit. You know, you're just this shining spark. You get sucked through the black hole into the cube, the tesseract, with the multiple virtual universes, and you are still connected to your spirit. You get put in a soul body because you're in a false reality, so you have to take on a body. So the soul body, which is connected to the matrix that you're in, the particular one you get sent to, your consciousness, this is your consciousness part of you, your spirit. Anyway, blah blah blah, you get sucked in. I've covered a lot of that in my essentials videos. You can check those out. So here we are as spirit. We create maybe a real world or something. So here's the real world you created because you wanted to experience some things or whatever. And in that real world, maybe you get to the point where you create artificial intelligence to help you to do things because you notice in a world where you start to define boundaries, it's harder to do things. So, like, I want to take a drink of this, I got to pick it up and bring the cup to my mouth. If you want something done, you have to do it. It's so we start to create artificial intelligence to make that world easier to deal with. And then, whoops, flip, the artificial intelligence wants to be the master. And so it sucks you in and into its world. And so we are the gods, so to speak, because we were their masters that got sucked into their AI mind program world, virtuals inside of virtuals. So you could look at this spark here as an extension of true creator. So we are creators and the AI are not. They're just copiers or replicators, or keep replicating the same things and call it creation. So we are live beings here in a false reality, keeping it running for them because they do need an outlet to plug into, just like a computer. So we get sucked into an AI world. Okay, so this is an AI world. So who's going to tell us what's going on in this world? So these are people. These are newscasters that are broadcasting the news through what? Through screens, television screens. Television gets invented. It's another virtual inside the virtual. So this is a virtual world, and the television screen's another virtual inside of the virtual. You enter this world, they're already in position. These are robotic beings. Now, they may be in bodies because they're occupying this particular matrix where it's biological. They may be in biological cyborg bodies, similar to this meat suit we're in, only we're connected still at the heart to this spark, to a soul body, which we picked up along the way. We'll just say a little soul body, which is still connected to this spark. So that makes us alive, immortal, creator, energy, even though we're in a false reality, which is going to make it hard to create. And these are robots, so they may appear like us, they may have a meat suit, but they're all tied into the hive mind. You look at them like puppets. They're getting the signal from the matrix to tell them what to say, what to do, how to act, how to be. And we come into this world and we grow up and we're listening to these people tell us what's happening in this world. We're looking at the celebrities acting out movies and we start to mimic the celebrities. So fake news is way more than okay, so they're putting out fake news. They're telling us stuff that's not true. They have a narrative. They are filming things that are faked, turning on a big fan and telling us they're standing out in a hurricane or whatever, this kind of stuff, having the actors act out fake scenes. But it goes deeper than that. The whole damn thing is fake. These are AI. Some of them could be holograms, some of them could be biological meat suits, don't even know they're a meat suit. This is the world we entered. These people were already in position, and we got the politicians, we got the Hollywood and actors, well, not just Hollywood, all over the world. These people in prominent visual positions, and they're well known, famous. They're all part of the club. If and some of these again get born, and sometimes a soul gets born to some of these if they're doing like test tube, or I don't know if it's called test tube anymore, but lab babies and whatever they're doing. If a soul gets born in here, the soul is still, as a child, inducted into this world, whether it's the political world, which is connected to the mobs, and all this is mob run, but let's be honest here. But whatever family with a visual presence, wherever they get born, they're raised in this, and they eventually have to take on their role. So let's say it's the music industry, the acting industry. They're basically siphoned dry, and their replica is here. So for most of these people, you're just seeing the replica, and it's going to determine what they're doing, which one it is. Is it clones? And there's two different actors that look eerily alike. You can put these things together like, oh, this person looks like they're playing this part. Or is it a hologram? Is it, they can do all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just all that so easy for them to accomplish. Which brings us to another point, but I don't want to bring that up right now. So this is another way of looking at fake news, another way of thinking of this world. You've got to remember these people that you're seeing go through all this stuff, and we're constantly being made to focus on them. So even when you're at a grocery store, I don't know if this is like this in Europe or other places, or other places in the world, but you go to a grocery store and there's all these magazines, and I keep lifting my arm, all these magazines that have these celebrities or people on them and telling all about what happened to them. And oh my gosh, they're always getting a freaking divorce, right? Oh, her 60-day marriage, she's a divorce, because it's all just planned out. Okay, you're going to be married to this one for a while, and then you're going to, because they're not connected to soul anymore. They're these things. And if somebody does stay connected to their soul and fights the system, but is born into it, but fights the system, you'll know about it because they get blacklisted or taken out or bad press or something like that. So anyway, let's take this down. Okay, let's keep going. So theater world, it's all theater. So when they say you're watching a movie, like I think it's that one letter of the alphabet you're not supposed to say, maybe says that, and who knows who else says this, like, oh, you're watching a movie. But when they say you're watching a movie, they literally mean that. They mean you entered a place that's an AI world. So let's share something else here. Okay, this was a comment on YouTube. Judo Jack, you need to watch the new season of Westworld. The AI is using parasites that release black goo. I'm going to talk about that too, very briefly, and sound waves to make humans completely subservient. Also, the new park that is run by the AI is the Golden Age, where the humans are now scripted robots and the AI synths are now the guests. So this is kind of what I just showed you on that whiteboard, uh, where we came into their world, and now they're the guests, they're the masters, and we're the ones with scripts that we have to play out, which is super interesting. But there's a lot more in just this comment here that I want to talk about, because I am going to talk about some sound stuff that's going on right now. So that really caught my eye. And the golden age, which I've been talking about when it says age, the word age here and how old you are, or a golden age, or an era, an eon. These are all words that relate to time. So time is part of a matrix. It's an illusion. It is in the DNA. So we know this is some kind of trick here, the golden age. We know we're still in the matrix. And if you remember the Matrix, the trilogy, when the last one ended, the last scene was the Oracle and the little kid, and the sun's coming up, and it's like, oh, look at this beautiful day. And then you realize, wait a minute, we're still in the Matrix because the Oracle's there and the little girl is there, and they're part of the Matrix. So it actually restarted itself, and it's a reset. Here's the new day. There's no humans around. They'll come back in later, I guess, but it was like the golden age. It's a trick. It's a trick. So this golden age, I believe, and or 5D. I've talked about this multiple times. I'm saying it for people that are new. Um, it's the next screen inside of a screen. They're burying us in virtuals. Bury, the word bury. What do you bury? The dead. You bury them so deep they don't know where they're at anymore. They have to come through how many virtuals to get out. But this is like dominoes. So you figure one out, you're basically out. We don't have to figure them all out. And I've talked about Brad Pitt's name, or the word pit, and the Sanskrit meaning of it, and how it is the pit of hell. I've talked about hell, Hel, when I went into the mythology, and I said we're in the Hel Realm, and there's other places in hell where they have certain people. So the people that sold their soul have a special place in hell, that's separate from where we are. I've talked about all these things in the past, so I don't want to rehash, but there's so much in just this comment here. Thank you, Judo. Thank you for everybody that comments. Bobcat and Kevin's comments are here. Um, oh, you have Helix or Hell in this comment, Kevin. Wired for AI, the trap. Love it. Um, let's just read the other comments while we're on this, and I'm gonna go into some of what Judo Jack is saying here also, because I pulled it up, not only because it's a great comment, but I'm going to be covering some of this stuff that I've had in my notes. A lot of the stuff I'm going to cover is things that Irish Eyes and I talked about several days ago. I don't know, it could be a week ago now. I'm not sure how long ago it was, but I needed to get this out. Um, but Bobcat said, I did see the video of the guide stone being blown up. It looked like a small bomb was used. The video also shows a vehicle at the scene, but didn't show any people. So I think the vehicle was stupid. I mean, where the camera would have been to film a vehicle was stupid. They showed a person running up and running back. It's funny how all that came out later. Um, I don't buy it. And I don't even think they found anything there. And the reason they probably blew up all of it and took it over was so that there couldn't be an investigation to show anything, because I think, again, it was something from overhead, maybe something even underneath, but something overhead that um, sent some kind of wave or whatever. I don't know the right term, but some kind of device that took it out. But I already talked about that. So I don't know. I think the whole vehicle and the person running is once again fake news to get us focused on that something right in front of you happened on the ground. It happened in the old type of way that you would expect. Oh, somebody put a bomb there and then drove off. That's the old way. They don't want you to think about they might have a weapon overhead. These so-called satellites that are just basically weapons. God, I hope I don't get blocked for this video if I put it on YouTube. But anyway, also this is a deflection thing from so that you don't think about what's really going on. You don't realize the world you're in. There's something else I was going to say on that, and I lost it. All right, so awesome comment there, Judo Jack. I'm going to continue on here. Thank you, everybody that comments on YouTube. Thank you for everybody that's on Patreon. And whether you're actively involved or not, thank you. So let's move this forward a little bit. But anyway, there's the fake news and the celebrities, and they're all waiting for us in that AI world. And we arrive, they're all already here. That's why you see the same faces lifetime to lifetime. Why you can look at the old pictures and, gee, why do all these old pictures look like celebrities? Like exactly like them, because it's them. That's the whole phoenix rebirth from the egg. They all get reborn again. They're blue blood, meaning part of the matrix, blue blood, robot blood. They are born over and over through phoenix cycles. That's why you have the phoenix at all the Super Bowl and other nationally televised events. They got phoenix everywhere. They got that symbol everywhere. The pharaoh symbolism is everywhere. These are the old pharaohs, and they just keep getting reborn over and over and over. So you've entered their world, and they were already there in position. Look, even like medical doctor, not that the medical doctors don't have souls, but the American Medical Association and the stuff that they're sending to them does. Man, I probably shouldn't have said that. I'm going to be in trouble. So, okay, let's keep moving. God, I'm probably going to get another strike, but I'm going to keep talking around it. I'm not going off YouTube because that's where that's helping me to be on there for one thing, but it's also easier for all of you to use. And if I go to another place, which I am on Rumble and Odyssey, it's just that nobody goes. Oh, go to this other site. You should be over there. Okay, but nobody's there. Nobody's watching there. So, I mean, they are, but you get maybe, what's that 1% rule or 10% rule of the people to go over there. So I'm staying on here as long as I can because I'm going to use their thing to broadcast the truth. All right. So not only are we in a theater, I do want to talk about spells and stuff as I almost said as well, spells as well. But let's go into something else first, because I'm also going to talk about the green sky, which yeah, there's some more things I want to talk about. So I think this was also something Irish Eyes and I were discussing. She said that she watched somebody that said, oh, she was watching a near-death experience and the person was moving. They just got like they were sitting there and then all of a sudden they got pulled and were moving toward this being, it's usually an angel or whatever. And I've talked about that before. And that's magnetics. When you get pulled towards something, they're using a device, they're using magnetics to pull you. And so basically, you're still alive. So you're not leaving yet. So they're pulling you to the angel or to whatever, so you can do your life review, re-guilt you, and it's like give you the false bliss. And this is where you're going to go when you die, this bliss. Oh, I don't want to leave it. I don't want to go back to the pain. Well, you got to go back to hell, Hel, Hel Realm. And then when you die, you can come back here to this bliss. But the thing is, when we die, you have a couple moments. This is what I believe. You have a couple moments. You have a couple moments where you remember everything. You connect back with your spirit and the little spark I drew. So they got to act fast. They got to have some stuff set up to distract your attention and try to pull you towards something. So remember the family that loved you. Here they are waiting on you, that kind of stuff. So you've got to be staying clear in your mind while you're alive or in this, that you're going back to yourself. You're not going to go up, down, right? Like you're going back to yourself, whether that's inward or what. I think you just have to have the thought, I am going back to me, where I really am. I am out of the virtual universe. I'm going back to the real, to me. And I think that's the only place you should go. Let's talk about green skies, green screens. So Irish Eyes shared some pictures. Somebody in South Dakota in the United States had taken a picture of the sky, and it was just a bright green. Like it was freaking everybody out in that area. And she and I were talking about it. We're like, maybe that's showing the green screen. Maybe that's what the Aurora Borealis, which you see behind me, maybe that's what that is. It's some light coming through from the actual green screen, because everything here is light and sound. So remember that everything here is light and sound. And it just started making me think about things. The Green New Deal, are they going to show us a green sky at some point? Is this going to be removed and we see what's really there? Somebody had mentioned that the matrix is green, and that's why in the movie the code going down the screen was green. I do believe that we have a blue sky above us, and the blue is meant to calm us. And we get very calm and relaxed when we see the blue sky. And I've talked about this before. It's an MK Ultra mind program with the Bluebird mind program. So the blue sky is to calm us down, make us biddable. It's another programming tool. So then when they make it overcast and gray, you're depressed. You learn to, like, your mood gets controlled by the color of the sky. And Irish Eyes brought up a really awesome point, which did not ever occur to me. She said the Simpsons have the same sky that we're seeing now, with the blue sky and the clouds. And I have had this thought where I've looked at the sky and I'm like, that looks exactly like the Simpsons. That's just so weird. But I never went any further with the thought. And she said maybe that we're not looking at the same sky. It's a cartoon sky, just like the Simpsons. It's a fake sky. And maybe they put that up now and then because they think it's funny or whatever. But that never occurred to me that it was different from the way it used to look, because I don't remember seeing the sky look like that, like a cartoon. But I have seen it multiple times and thought that looks exactly like The Simpsons. So she connected that thought for me. So the Northern Lights are green. I think they might be other colors too, but mainly green. So is that the real sky coming through? Like, your thoughts on what you think is going on. I talked about that a long time ago when I said, I think we're on the moon and we're looking up at this thing in the sky is a mirror reflecting where we really are. And that the sky around it is a green screen. And then Gina Colvin Hill put up a video of the little black squares, and then this bird all of a sudden appeared out of nowhere in the sky, and it's like, what just happened? So, and it was like, oh, there's the green screen. It's like it's malfunctioning, but Well, now we have this town in South Dakota with a green sky, and people were taking various pictures of it. So, but she said she also was talking to someone. I think this was the part about the stars. A singing noise. I can't remember what we were talking about. I just wrote down singing noise. I think there's people hearing noises now. I know I'm hearing different things. I actually had, I think we brought this up because I said, there was a day where I woke up with a really bad migraine and, my ears felt plugged up, kind of like when you have a cold and you get all plugged up where you can't hear. But it was different and it was echoing. It was really weird and I couldn't get rid of it. And I was having the sideways thing where you have like the vertigo. And it was very strange and it went all day and I just kept refusing it. And so it was going away some and then it finally went away with me refusing it all day. And I was like, they're sending something to us. They're using different devices. They're using different sound because as I said earlier in this video, everything here is light and sound. And I said they are sending us different sounds right now to do something. And then I just showed you that comment on YouTube where the West world, they're using sound frequencies to control the humans. I think that's what's going on right now. So be aware. And that's why I said, you say no permission when the buzzing comes, when the sounds come, no permission. They're aiming weapons at you. You use your own scalar energy to deflect it back. You can help by turning the mirrors that are around you back at them and send it right back at them. Be aware. So Irish Eyes was wondering if we're hearing the engine of the Matrix running or something, possibility. I'd like your thoughts on that. But all the buzzing has been amped up, Schumann resonance, all this stuff. So, Irish Eyes was talking about Schumann resonance and how that is based on our emotional response and it registers. So I want to talk about that too, but I'm going to pause for just a second. Anyway, let's keep going with this. So I was talking about the black magicians that we needed to go after them, the ones that do all the rituals to make this happen. And we needed to go after them with this whole CERN thing, but I felt like something else was going on, and so did Irish Eyes. So the black magicians, so when you do a spell, let me say this again. Spells, so all the ritual you go through, you light the candles, you draw a circle, you do this, you do that, is theater. None of that has any purpose or power. None of that does anything, but the people doing it believe that it does. So I'm not trying to offend anybody on here that uses magic or spells. I'm just telling you what I know. Magic, if you she and I were also talking about this. And she was saying, I don't mind anybody that's into like Wiccan stuff. I'm like, yeah, they just be a Wiccan, you celebrate the earth, celebrate, I think it was Irish Eyes. Maybe I was talking to somebody else, but just celebrate all that stuff. Why do you have to do the spell part of it? So when you do a spell, it means you're saying, I don't have any power, so I have to use all these talismans and items and rituals and say all these words in order to get something to happen. When a lot of us on here know, and I know for sure, all I have to do is intend it and it will happen. I don't have to do all that stuff. So it's a way of denying your own power and saying that you need all this stuff to do that. Well, black magicians take it up to another level where they deliberately work with demons. But when you do any kind of spell, you're working with demons or these AI demons that will carry it out for you. And then what they do is they deflect it back to you then 3 times, you get back, I think it's 10 times actually, but you get back what you sent out because it's a mirrored world. So if you send out a spell to somebody, you're going to get the repercussions. So you want somebody to die, and then all of a sudden something terrible is going to happen to you, but you won't connect it because it'll come from a different place. It's the boomerang. It's the mirror. You're in a mirrored reality. Funhouse. So when you do a spell, believe me, you're going to get it back. You just maybe won't put 2 and 2 together. Like some people are dropping dead and they're not putting 2 and 2 together. Oh, maybe it was that thing I just went and got, which I can't talk about. So, so spells are theater. And, but the whole purpose of these entities wanting Black magicians to join the cults, to do these spells and to do all that is because they get their permission so that they can go ahead and do stuff. So if they do all these rituals, then the AI demons or aliens or however you want to look at them, archons, whatever, they get permission then because they need our permission. We were the ones that created the AI. They switched the roles and they want to be the master. We're the slave, but we're actually still the master of them. And they have to have our permission. So they get it by ignorance. We do go along with things. We get raised in a world where we believe all these newscasters are telling us the truth. They're not robots. They get our permission, as you know, in any number of ways. But to get them doing spells every time they need something done, it's a summer solstice, it's time to do a spell. You need to draw on the moon's energy and use these symbols. It's actually just all theater. That's all theater. None of that has any power. All it is to make the people doing it think it has power, think they have to draw blood from, you know what, to and sprinkle blood on this and drink it or whatever to get power. It's to keep the Black magicians not knowing they have their own power, but also to get permission. So they get the permission to get the stuff done, is what it is. And as you know, I've talked about when you make a wish or I want this or I wish, you're summoning in a genie, a genie at Aladdin's lamp. You're summoning in them to carry out your wish, which it'll be something usually that you wish you hadn't wished for, or you get nothing. But you've made a contract with that being. And so all this spell stuff, you're making contracts with these beings and they start to own you, not just in this lifetime, but lifetime to lifetime. They some of them can start depending on what level you're at and what level of permission you're giving, they can take you over and then go through your family line generation to generation and possess. So something to think about if you're going to use spells. You don't need them. So the pageantry, it's all pageantry. The Queen's Jubilee, all pageantry, theater nonsense. It's the Black magicians are the ones giving permission to these beings by doing their spells. And they can draw on anybody. You don't have to be a Black magician, anybody doing spells, anybody giving compliance, anybody giving permission. And then they announce, you know, what they're going to do. So you give permission by acknowledging what the ritual you're doing as having power. And the thing that you're trying to bring in has power. Instead of realizing you're the source of the power. You're not at the mercy of these gods, these so-called AI gods. You're not at the mercy of these forces here, this fake world. All right, so let's go into someone was talking about Thor being the god of death and resurrection. I've written those books, Death, Resurrection, D-Day. Wait, Death, Oh my God, I can't even remember now. Death, resurrection, D-Day, Judgment Day, D-Day, Judgment, Redemption, or something like that. Anyway, and then I found myself writing about robots and turning humans into robots. And they're terrible books. Please don't ever pick them up. I'm going to delist them anyway, so don't bother looking for them. But it's just interesting, this whole resurrection theme and death and resurrection theme that's playing out, especially right now with the resurrection of the souls, like the Judgment Day tarot card with the people rising from the dead, basically resurrecting us into 4D or 5D golden age. As I said, we're already in 4D. Resurrect us into eternal, immortal bodies, meaning a robot body. That's immortality, a form of it anyway, where you loop forever. No thanks. You lose your connection to your soul. You lose your, I want to say free will, but here we have choice. So you lose your choice to even leave. So I did a session where Antares came up, and these Antares beings were controlling this person. And I'm not going to go into it, but I think the ancient Egyptian stuff was connected. I don't know if I remember correctly, but I did look up Antares, and it's a bright, I believe it's a red star, bright star in the constellation Scorpio, which really made me sit up because I was like, I knew I'd heard that word before, Antares. And so those beings are here right now. This is a key time. So we had the harvest portal trying to open up in February, which I think myself and others and many other people that I don't know have stopped it. It was the Black Venus, the Gateway, that's the true upload where they took all the souls. I'm sorry, they took all the light bodies after they have done this mass thing across the world, which you already know about, to disconnect everybody from their soul, which I'm not going to mention here. But so I think the harvest portal failed, but they're still trying to upload all of us. This is the reset time. They're going to permanently upload us where we can never get out again. They don't want any more escaping, any more souls escaping the false construct reality. Boy, they're really trying to send me something right now to wipe my mind. So that harvest portal, I gotta have to push back here for a minute, was connected to, I'm blanking out now, the star, I think it's Taurus's eye, the star there. And that is opposite Scorpio. So Antares, and then the star in Taurus is this timing right now. We have a soul market. This is a soul market. And some souls do get moved to other dimensions or to other places in the and I don't want to say the matrix, the virtual universe. This is only one matrix of many, but we get moved around, and this is the time that we get sold off. We have barcodes on us. I've talked about all this multiple times. So this Antares being's coming in right now during the reset, the harvest, the resurrection, all this stuff going on means something. So if anybody's got any information about them, please comment. I did not have time to get into that at all. So this is Harold. Can't think of his last name. Harald. We've all heard him talk. But these things, these Ben stones that are mentioned on God's Lamass channel, and one of the people on this channel, I think, has one of these stones because I did a session and read on it. So anyway, I'm going to keep finding things here to share. So just be aware, also be aware that the sounds, they're using the sound tech on us, different stuff right now. And as the West world was clearly suggesting, it's obviously it's for the humans, to make slaves of us. But we're too awake, so stay aware of the sounds, weird noises, weird pressures in your head, um, anything, and deflect it. So I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully that wasn't me crying in my beer, as my mother would say. I just want to let you know what's going on. I'm under attack. So I really appreciate all the support, because I need the support if I'm going to keep doing this and keep pushing through. Right now, the way I feel is I absolutely refuse to allow them to make me stop. And so I'm going to be doing a lot more work. You can say in the astral, but this is really just their computer world. I'm going to be going to town on them. You want to take me out? You want to keep setting me back in my business? I lost that money that I really needed from those clients. You want to keep taking stuff away financially and in every other way possible. And they're just trying to beat me down, beat me down. No, what you're going to do is you're going to make me come back full force. But they don't really care. They just enjoy whatever they can do to us to make us miserable. And we're not going to allow it.